Welcome, everyone. Welcome to my channel. I am Dr. Perkins, a board-certified OBGYN, and here on my platform, we talk about you. We talk about changes with your body, provide you answers to the questions that you have. So thanks for being here. And today we're talking about, does everyone with PCOS gain weight? That's a question, right? Because a lot of times I would say people come to me in my office and they're just like, well, I'm not overweight. Could I potentially have PCOS? And so we're going to talk about what that may be all about. And so we're going to talk about what might be happening. So in this video, we'll talk first about PCOS, what it is, what you need to know. We'll talk about the hormonal imbalances that are associated with PCOS and how they may lead to weight gain. We will dive into insulin resistance and what it is. And most importantly, we will talk about treatment options and ways to manage weight if you have PCOS. So, what is PCOS? It is polycystic ovarian syndrome. It is not PCO, which is polycystic ovaries. And it is not the same as having cysts on your ovaries. It's very important that we kind of differentiate between them because oftentimes I've seen patients who went to the emergency room, for instance, because they had abdominal pain. They had a CAT scan done and it said, hey, you have a cyst on your ovary. And so they come to my office and they're just like, Dr. Perkins, I'm having this issue and it's because I have a cyst on my ovary. And I'll say, wait, hold up. Let's take a pause here. Because if you are a menstruating female, meaning you're between your puberty years and menopause, you're having periods on a monthly basis. If that is you, I expect that you will have a cyst every single month. Yep, all of us, including you. And the reason is this is completely biology. When your ovaries ovulate and produce an egg, I think of this as like a literal actual egg. An egg has a shell. Inside there is a yolk, the life of the egg, and is supported by egg white. And so keep that concept as we talk about this. Your ovaries mature an egg and it's in a follicle, okay? Or a cyst. We use those terms interchangeably in medicine, okay? So that's the shell of the egg. When that egg matures, it ovulates. And so think of that as cracking open an egg and the yolk comes out. It goes into the fallopian tube because it's going to wait for sperm to arrive. The egg white is super important. And that egg white, oftentimes some of it will drop into your pelvis and cause a little bit of pain. So when people know when they're ovulating, that's because some of this from the egg, the solution from the egg falls into your pelvis and your pelvis doesn't like it. And so you feel a little bit of pain. The shell of the egg after ovulation happens kind of closes back up and it sits there and grows in hopes of a pregnancy happening. And it's super, super important. We call that a corpus luteum cyst. It is going to grow and grow and grow until the egg dies. And the reason is, if for some reason pregnancy has occurred, egg and sperm meets together, that cyst is tasked with keeping the pregnancy going. So it's producing all the hormones and all the things that are necessary to maintain that pregnancy in its very early stage. And so every single time that you ovulate, that egg closes back, it grows a little bit, becomes a bigger cyst that can be seen on an ultrasound until a period happens. And then the message of not conceiving has gone through your pelvis and the cyst says, okay, I'm not needed anymore, and it goes away. And so that is the cyst that is often seen on ultrasound or CAT scan when you randomly take a look. And it doesn't mean that you have a pathological problem. You're completely normal. Now, when a cyst grows way too big, it is 5 centimeters, like the size of an orange, it is larger than that, then that's a problem, okay? But in general, 99.9% of the time, the cyst will go away. When someone has PCOS, that is not the same type of cyst that exists in your pelvis or in your ovaries at that. With PCOS, your body and your ovaries attempts to create an egg from month to month. But oftentimes, because of hormonal imbalances, that egg doesn't develop all the way. So it's just considered like a mini egg. And if it stops maturing, you won't have a period that month. So this is why oftentimes people with PCOS may skip cycles. They may skip cycles for many months because that egg doesn't mature all the way. And so what happens is that when you look on ultrasound in this ovary, what you actually see is a lot of immature eggs, so really, really, really small in the ovary. Not a big cyst, not what you see on a CAT scan, not what you see on an ultrasound in general. These are really small eggs that are immature, and they're stacked inside of your ovary. So in general, with PCOS, your ovary might be a little bit larger with many immature, small cysts on the inside. And so that's what's very different from having a cyst on your ovary. PCOS, as I mentioned before, is truly a hormonal condition. It's a hormonal issue. If our hormones are off and you have PCOS and your ovaries are not ovulating regularly and you're not getting periods regularly and you have excessive hair growth on your chin, on your chest, on your thighs, all the things that are linked with PCOS, you may have insulin resistance, and this may lead to having weight issues. About 70% of people with PCOS are overweight. That means a good 30% are not. They're normal sized. About 70% of people as well have insulin resistance. And it's important for us to understand what insulin resistance is and why it leads to weight issues. Insulin resistance means that your pancreas, which produces insulin, makes a normal amount of insulin. The insulin is very important to helping your cells, your muscles, your joints, your organs, use sugar once you eat them. So you eat your food, sugar gets into your blood, your cells need to accept and take that sugar and use it for energy. But it needs insulin as the key to be able to open that door to get the sugar. If your cells don't respond to insulin, even though it's present, they're not able to use the sugar. And so what happens is that sugar will continue to circulate in your blood and the levels will get higher and higher. This creates a system that becomes broken over time. And what happens is that your pancreas will then make much more insulin in hopes to get your cells to be able to use the sugar that's in your blood. But your cells are just not responding to it. The insulin gets higher and higher and higher. The problem here is that insulin leads to storage of fat. And so while our insulin is just being pumped into our system, we are also storing more fat along the way. It allows us to gain weight while communicating with our cells to try to get them to use the sugar. And so what happens is that our system becomes so dysregulated. We have high levels of sugar and may lead to diabetes in the future. We are gaining weight when you're probably eating well, you're doing all the things, you're exercising, and it's just not working because of this underlying insulin resistance with PCOS. And so how do we treat this? We treat this by, one, not giving our bodies additional sugar throughout our diet. That means we're not eating excessive white rice and bread and potatoes. We're not eating like the chips and the snacks that are made from white flour, because white flour, we know, spikes your sugar. It is glucose. It is going to your blood. So we try to remove that from our diet. We also try to use excess sugars. How do we do that? By exercising. Do you know that even if you were to do 50 squats right before you ate a meal, you would activate your large muscles of your thigh and your back, and they will soak up and use sugar that's lying in your blood? It's a very simple solution that I often tell like pregnant women or other diabetics, do this before you eat. Activate your muscles because they will use some of this excess sugar that's lying around. But you can also make sure that we are hormonally balanced. Now, this is just a lot of information for us to cover today and in this one video. And so I'd love to send you a copy of my ebook, Hormones Don't Lie, because in your own time and in your own moment, you can read through this and some of the solutions and things that I've provided you to help you create hormonal balance inside. I would love to send this to you. Click the link below this video and I'll send it right over. Now you can join me on some of my other videos as well, because we talk about this much more, because it's so important to me that we find our place in this life and in our own spaces. Thank you so much for listening in today. I hope you learned just a little bit. Be free to join me on my next video and please comment below. I'd love to hear from you. Thanks again.